And welcome back to the Delaware Boys Dynasty Football Podcast. Ryan, say what's up to the people, baby.
What's going on, guys? Got to be back on the podcast. So today we're doing something a little bit different. We're gonna get more involved with the community. So a couple of days ago, we asked you guys to send us trades, and you certainly did. That being said, we got a lot from people, a little bit overwhelming, so we're not going to be able to touch on everybody's, but we will probably be doing another one of these in the future if we miss anybody. That being said, Steven, got anything for the people today?
Yeah, you know how buy sells are like one of our favorite times of the year to do. You know what I mean? This is just engaging. It's engaging for you and me. You know what I mean? Like this is what we work out. This is what we come to as consensus. It reflects in our rankings. So if anything comes to be, we're either going to look like geniuses, or sometimes we look like dumbasses. I mean, it happens. But right. This is one of my favorite segments for community building and things where I can reach out, we can reach out, and just build with our friends, our fans, things like that. So I'm pretty excited. We did it last year, had a very good response. I'm very excited to jump into this. So Robbie and SC, who we both work with at RPO, sent us like 40 trades apiece. So I'm not doing all 40, but I am going to touch on a couple. Let's just jump into it, baby.
Yeah, I'm excited. All the trades, you never really know until you get in season, so it's tough to even sit here and talk about it.
Yeah. So this is Robbie. I'm going to click on, let's break this down real quick. Okay. So this is what we have first.
Good Lord.
You got Robbie sends DK Metcalf to one side. You get Romeo Doubs, Jordan Addison, 224 seconds. So here's where I'm at with it. You and I are higher on DK than consensus. I think we have DK consensus top 10 wide receiver, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 11, right?
I think he's 11, but yeah, okay. He sits right on that border. Yeah.
So we have Jordan Addison coming in at, I'm going to say off the top of my head, 22, 20 in that range.
Let me pull rankings up so we can do this live time so we don't get anything wrong. But yeah, around that range. You think the 2 seconds make up for that, or you think that you need a little bit more here? Because on our rankings, we have Jordan Addison, wide receiver 20.
So with this being said, you don't know where these seconds play out. This is a very loaded class. We speak about the 24 class all the time when it comes to our conversations. I love the class. I love who you're going to be able to get in the second round to the mid to second round. It just depends on where these picks fall. I'm gonna be honest with you. For me to trade DK on top of Jordan Addison, I need to receive a 2024 first back. We're talking about, I mean, to me, you're tier jumping 2 tiers here. Now, granted, Jordan Addison is a guy I love, a guy that I think is going to walk into heavy volume year one. I mean, we saw Adam Thielen, at 32 years old, draw 107 targets in this passing offense. I think Jordan Addison is a way more talented receiver than Adam Thielen is, especially at this point in their careers. I think Jordan Addison is the rookie wide receiver 1 when it comes to 2023 redraft. And I think we could be talking about him as a top 15 dynasty piece or higher.
Going forward. Yeah.
Right. But DK, on top of that, you know what I mean? You got a guy who drew 140 targets last year, a guy who leads the league in red zone and end zone targets consistently year round. 6 touchdowns last year, his lowest touchdown number in his career. I think if I were to do this trade, you can keep Doubs.
Yeah. Just get that first.
I like Doubs. I'm not saying that. But I need the 2 first. I need a first back.
Yeah. Here's a hot take. I think Jaden Reed might end up being beating Doubs, whatever the fuck his name is. That being said, I completely understand this trade. A lot of people under this notion that DK is going to have a faded year. JSN's coming into this offense. You got a 3-headed monster, so you expect those targets to come down. He had a career high. That's great and everything. I think most people are worried that with JSN coming into that room, it changes things for that whole offense.
Which it does.
And I kind of get the panic selling. I mean, Jordan Addison very much is going to be a high volume guy in an offense where they are throwing the ball a lot. playing alongside JJ goes a long way, especially if you're a rookie. You get so much attention taken off of you because they're worried about the monster on the other side. Jordan Addison can just do what he does best on the field, and he'll produce numbers.
Don't forget TJ.
Well, TJ exists too. Hey, they're throwing that rock, baby. Dalvin Cook is out the door, and I don't think Madison's going to get anywhere near Dalvin Cook's workload.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're talking about a pass-friendly, Minnesota team who, Kirk threw it almost 650 times last year. How much more can he throw?
That's true.
I mean, like I said, I personally would want more for DK back. I know his fantasy points per game was like 13.6, the lowest of his career. But granted, remember this. On top of that, he had 22 end zone / red zone targets. Like, these numbers don't just replicate themselves. This is the lowest touchdown number that DK's had in his career. He had 90 catches last year for a guy who, I never pegged DK to be a guy that's going to go 90 plus catches. He had 90 catches last year.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get the concerns. I mean, like you said, though, I think first in red zone targets amongst the league. So, I mean, the number is definitely going to go up. I don't see that role changing too much. Geno's not really a threat to run in the red zone. They don't really have a prolific tight end. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, I think DK will still get those red zone targets. He'll still be the guy for that. I don't mind this trade. I think it kind of evens itself out. I mean, you're right. It very much depends on those seconds. Like, if one's high end and the other one's late, like, I don't know. You end up getting like the 202 and the 207, 8. I'm not like too mad at it. But if those are two back end seconds, then I think you might be getting yourself into a little bit of trouble.
Yep. And that's where I'm at with it. I would just flip the 2 seconds and try to get a first. Yeah, for a late round first. That's my only thing on that one. Now, this is one of my favorite trades to break down that I saw. I know what side I want. This is fun.
This is easy for me, too.
This is easy for me. Give me the left side. Give me Josh. Give me St. Brown.
Yeah, I think this is a good trade for Robbie. I like this one. I like this one a lot more than the last. I get you. Listen, you're trading away Mahomes, okay? Like, I get that. That's definitely like a little bit alarming. But the gap between, in my opinion at least, and I think my rankings reflected, the gap between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen isn't anywhere near the same gap between St. Brown and Higgins for me.
Right. I mean, we're talking about a guy in Josh Allen. Now, granted, we're not talking about real life football. We're talking about fantasy numbers here.
Yes. Yeah.
On top of this, Josh Allen, the last 3 years, QB1, QB1, QB2.
Yep.
At some general consensus last year, people had it flipped. Allen 1, Mahomes 2. Yeah. These rushing upside QBs, these Konami code type QBs, it's really hard to replicate that success. I mean, Josh Allen, we're talking about easy 600 plus yards on the ground every year, on top of close to 4,000 passing yards, 30 plus touchdowns, 40 overall total touchdowns. I mean, it's just they're so close. For Mahomes to consistently sit at 1 and to have a decent gap, he has to be 2018, 2019 Mahomes, 5,050. Like, that has to happen every year.
Yeah. We did it last year with 48 and 36 touchdowns, somewhere in that area.
But also, we're also talking about Josh Allen, who had a significant elbow injury. You know what I mean?
True.
Those things happen. Jalen Hurts was on pace to beat Pat Mahomes, has a shoulder injury. Things happen in football. But now when you break the 2 wide receivers down, it's not even a question.
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting for me because on one side, he gets St. Brown, who's going to be a target hog, who'll probably get those 140 targets each year in, year out, unless J-Mo actually ends up being something. But at this point, I don't know. But nonetheless, we won't comment on that anymore. But yeah, St. Brown, lock him in for 140 targets and minimum 1,200, 1,100?
If not more.
Exactly. I'm talking just a straight baseline for St. Brown. And then he's the true alpha one on his team. Him and Goff have that connection.
Right. And me and you've had this talk. Higgins is a wide receiver 1, even though he's a wide receiver 2 on his own team. Talent-wise, he is a wide receiver 1. I like T. Higgins a lot. I think he just gets capped by Jamar Chase. That's obviously a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this trade goes to Robbie. No, no question here as well.
Yep, for it.
Let's click one more. Let's see what Robbie's got.
That trade is crazy.
Which one you want to talk about?
Gibson and Pickett, Thielen and Eckler.
Okay. We'll talk about this one. So this one's interesting. So I'm assuming Superflex because he said the last one and that he sent us was the only one QB. So
here's what I'm thinking is going on here before you start breaking it down. I'm thinking he's going into rebuild here, trying to get rid of older pieces and bring in the younger. I mean, Gibson doesn't really offer a whole lot, but if you're dishing Eckler off of your roster, I don't think you're in any position to win. So I'm kind of basing that trade in that sense that, okay, he probably needed a QB2 and got a little bit desperate here.
See, I don't mind receiving Pickett and moving Eckler. I mean, to be honest with you, Thielen, Gibson, to me, I actually am taking Gibson over Thielen regardless.
Yeah.
It comes down to the Pickett-Eckler value. To be honest with you, I mean, we're talking about a running back who's 28 years old now, who's in a contract dispute. You know, I mean, he just got to, they worked that out. But what more does Eckler have left? What more?
Yeah. I mean, you think we've probably seen the best of Eckler at this point?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely, you've seen the best of Eckler. You may get it one more time in 2023, but after that, and you have
that's why I say I think he's not in line to win anything this year if he's making this shift. Because Eckler, at the end of the day, if you can win a championship, I don't think I'm taking Eckler off my team. I'll ride it out till the wheels fall off, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, like we've talked about Kenny Pickett. I mean, I'm excited for year 2 with Kenny. We're talking about a well above average skill position group coming in with Kenny Pickett. Excuse me. We're talking about a huge additions to the O-line. We've talked a lot about the Steelers this year going into year 2. Pickett, I mean, you look at the training camp. You can only break down what you saw in training camp. You can look at the first preseason game. Kenny looks locked in. I'm excited to see Kenny. I think Kenny is one of those QBs that's going to have a significant rise in value. We have him QB 17 in our rankings. How much higher will he go? I don't know, especially with these QB additions coming in the next couple of years. I mean, I think Kenny is going to be the safest QB2. I like Kenny. I think Kenny's going to have a monster year. Give me Kenny. I'll take that side.
Strictly, I mean, I guess give or take, but I would probably rather have Eckler and Thielen. Well, I guess just Eckler. I'm not 100% sold on Pickett yet, and I want him to prove me wrong. I do, but
it just comes down to the fact that it's like if you're going to cash in and bank in on QB value, what can you get for Eckler QB value wise?
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, I guess you don't really think about it like that. Like, what's this? Like, he's probably been trying to get rid of Eckler, trying to shop him for a quarterback. He landed on Pickett. I have to see what his thoughts on Gibson is. I'm kind of curious about that.
I'm still taking Gibson over Thielen. Like,
I mean, I'd Gibson over Thielen too, but Gibson, I don't know, just a name to like pluck out of a guy's roster.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he offers you value. I mean, they've been raving about him, you know, especially Eric Mahinmi. He's been raving about Gibson. They've been, you know, I mean, they want to get him touches and things like that.
Listen, man, I wouldn't want nothing more than see Gibson succeed. I loved him in Memphis. I was excited for him. I don't know. He's kind of struggled here and there, but I definitely want to see the guy succeed. I have nothing against him.
Robbie, if you were cashing in on value here for Eckler, trying to upgrade to a QB, possibly needing a QB2, I like the deal, to be honest.
Yeah.
SC, he sent us a lot too, so let's get to it. I want something exciting. Let's jump in. This is a 3-team trade.
Yeah, 3 teams. Way to make it complicated for everybody.
Yeah, way to make this complicated. Okay, so let's just look at what SC sends here. Receives Dak Prescott, Alexander Madison. Okay. I'm assuming Superflex. I am assuming super flex here.
Has to be super flex, right?
So A,
yeah,
we're talking about a top 10 dynasty QB here. Dak Prescott. Getting a lot of hate, actually, in certain circles. And a lot from me, too, because I had Dak as a sell, to be honest with you. But let's look at the picks. You got 2024 first, 2025 first, and a 2024 second. Darnold, obviously, a throw-in piece. Doesn't really hold a whole lot of value for me. I think 2 first is actually very fair for Dak, to be honest.
I'm sitting trying to break this whole thing down.
Just break down the top part.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah, let's just break down the Dak and Alexander Madison.
Dak and Madison for Darnold, 2 first and a second. So what? At the end of the day, like you take Darnold out, like what's he really gonna do? So
that's what I'm saying.
Darnold first for Dak and a second for Madison. I think maybe you overpay a little bit more than I would for Dak Prescott. Like I don't know, 2 firsts for Dak. I mean, I guess so. He's sitting in that range.
But again, these picks, we don't know how they fall.
Yeah, it's true. So like if there's 2 picks, like he thinks he's gonna win, he sends his pick and then Savage Scumbag's pick. Great name. Great. And then with 2 back end first, I think he does just fine. But if one of those picks ends up being like 1 through 4, especially the 124, like it gets a little dicey at that point for me.
Yeah, like I said, the picks
trading picks is. I'm done trading first. I'm just gonna say that first is such a tricky thing. You never really know what it's gonna end up being.
Is that why you won't give me your first in your league?
Listen, I told Seth and I told you I'm no longer moving firsts. I'm not doing it. I'll trade seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths, whatever all day, baby. I'm never trading a first round pick ever again.
So actually, I think SC makes out pretty well in this. I think the fair value is Alexander Madison for a second round pick.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not paying any more than that.
Yeah.
And then taking the gamble on a top 10 QB, Dak is still only 30 years old.
True.
Recently, Dak has struggled with injuries and has struggled last year with turning the ball over. That was a huge thing. I like the addition of Brandon Cooks here. Gallup healthy, still have Pollard. Only thing I didn't like, though, obviously, was the loss of Kellen Moore. I did not like that for him. But
yeah,
I think Dak's locked in as a QB1 regardless. So I think 2 firsts for a QB1 is fair. I mean, we're not talking about Dak being over the hill. We're not talking about Dak being 35 yet, anything like that. We're talking about a 30-year-old Dak. He's still at the prime apex of his career.
Yeah, I mean, he's still there.
I think that's a fair trade.
Yeah, I got no problem with it. Honestly, I don't. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay. But that dude that got 3 firsts for Richardson and Madison, he cashed out. But yeah, that's gonna be just fun too.
Cashed out. Oh, I like this one too. I like this one. I want to talk about this one because a lot of people like Brandon Ayuk. A lot of people,
including me.
Yeah, I like Brandon Ayuk too. But the thing is like I had certain tiers of wide receivers to where I'm pegged to where I want to trade them for. Guys like DJ Moore, Pickens, Watson, Ayuk, Ridley. There's a tier of like 7. Judy, another one.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to trade. Like if I were to trade them, I want anywhere from like if we're in a 12-team league, I need to pick like 1-6 to like 1-9 in that range. 1-8, 1-6 to 1-9. I have to fall in that range.
Yeah.
If the pick ends up being higher, I don't like it. I'll be honest.
Okay.
I think Ayuk is a very, very well-rounded talent. I was huge on Ayuk. He had a top 15 season last year. I do have him as the number 1 pass catcher in San Fran. He's a monster. I like Ayuk a lot.
Double that up. Yep.
So, number 2. If it's Purdy, him and Kittle were clicking. So I can go with them.
Yeah, you ain't lying on that one. Good Lord. Talk about awakening Kittle. Good Lord, have mercy.
And I think you should cash in on any running back that's 26 years old going into their second contract anyway.
Yeah.
I think you're looking at a huge downgrade in offensive line play. You're going to look at a huge downgrade in efficiency and offense for Miles Sanders as well.
Yep.
I don't hate this trade. I think SC makes out pretty well here.
I couldn't agree more. And just to touch a little bit more on Miles Sanders here, I think now's a good time to cash in on Sanders. He finished top 10 last year. I want to say he was running back 9. Like you said, he goes to a totally different situation. For sure, worse offensive line. And then you always expect these rookie quarterbacks to struggle. So how good is the offense really going to be? I feel like last year, Sanders was so productive because it was in this offense where all these weapons around him, and he has plenty to take away from here, there, everywhere. You got Jalen Hurts running the ball, and you got 2 monsters on the outside and Goddard at tight end. And now you get to go to Carolina where you are the workhorse with Chuba Hubbard behind you, and then who's on the outside? Thielen and Mingo and Chark. I don't know. I'm expecting a significant a little bit of a plummet. I'm not saying his productivity will probably still be there, the touchdowns, maybe some stuff like that. You're going to see that come down in this Panthers offense. I love Ayuk, but I'm 100%. I love Ayuk, but I will trade him for a first 9 times out of 10.
I am 100% on the fact that I do think you see Miles Sanders' true pass catching role come to light here. He struggled with that in Philly to some degree. I think you do see the receiving profile we saw at Penn State. That's a positive. But like I said, it's just the overall efficiency and downgrade in offensive line play for me. Give me the picks.
Yeah, I like the picks here.
Let's
just spoke on getting first. Somebody just started getting them things.
I like this. Let's talk about Kyler. So I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is a slam dunk, straight up.
I mean, yeah, you get 2 for, well, basically a second and a first in Ayuk for.
Who's 112? Who's 112 in this class? You got
Flowers, Charbonnet.
Well, you got Flowers, Kincaid at 9-10 in that range. Then you got Shane, Kendre, Charbonnet. Let's just put a name to it. Let's go Kendre. Say it's Kendre. So you got Kendre, a 2024 first, Brandon Ayuk, Ryan Tannehill for Kyler. Is that cashing low in on Kyler, honestly?
That's selling Kyler low. In my mind, at least. I've been buying him. A lot of people are completely out on Murray. They want nothing to do with it. There's already talks that the Cardinals would be so bad they can get that 1 pick and go get Caleb Williams. And then where does Kyler Murray really sit? I get the concerns, but end of the day, I think the community and most people need to understand that if the Cardinals get rid of Kyler Murray, that's an $80 million cap hit. And as far as that goes, NFL history goes, that has to be up there for the highest cut that a team would take.
I think Rodgers had the highest due to the sole fact of he had to scale back $35 million this year, and I know his cap hit was significant. I know Matt Ryan's when he left Atlanta was significant, but for sure it's a high cap hit.
$80 million is tough. So right, I'm buying Kyler, so. I don't know. Yeah. This isn't a trade for me.
Everybody's convinced that Kyler is leaving Arizona. I'm not at all.
Right. Yeah, I'm on the same boat.
I think if you take this rebuild seriously, I mean, you made a hell of trades in this last free agency or this last NFL draft. You're going to finish with a top 3 pick. You know what I mean? If your pick is 1, it is Caleb Williams. You know what I mean? Look at what the Carolina Panthers paid for Bryce Young, and then you're going to add some more.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% convinced that Kyler's leaving Arizona at all.
Yeah, I'm not either. But
hey, give me the Kyler side here.
I like Kyler's side too. Just 112. If it was any higher than 112, I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't hate it. If it was in 1 to 1, well, you're not gonna get 1 or 1. So we'll say 1.4 to 1.8. I guess I wouldn't mind that. But 112, if you're getting like Charbonnet or Kendra Miller, give me Kyler.
Yeah, give me Kyler on this one as well. Let's break down. I think this one's pretty quick. Again, we're new to IDP, but let's just break this down. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This side is DJ Moore to me 110%.
I can't speak much on this trade. I barely even know who Morrow is.
I'm just being honest with you. Between Godwin,
so this is a fight. You got this one, bro.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lock it in. I think DJ Moore is due and prime for a huge breakout season. Godwin, obviously we don't like the QB play that's going to be happening in Tampa Bay. Obviously going to be behind in a lot of games. I do expect significant passing volume. Is there a way for Chris Godwin to finish as a top 20 receiver? Absolutely. But dynasty value wise, I think DJ Moore is locked into a spot that makes sense for him. This will be the best QB play he's had since his rookie year with Cam Newton. I love Jaylen Warren. I love the change of pace that we have there, but Najee's locked into 280 plus touches. And when it comes to the linebackers, Nakobe Dean is the linebacker one you probably want in Philly when it comes to this. So like I said, and then I've always had that trouble with how much does linebacker or how much does IDP reflect into a trade when it comes to offensive piece. And you know what I mean? So give me DJ Moore.
I have no comment other than I know I love DJ Moore this year. I'm excited for him. Could this be a great trade for him? I don't know. I don't know who Morrow is. I don't know if he's like the next up and coming guy, but hey, my man SC dealing out here. That's all I know.
True. See, this one's tough too. This is a salary cap league, so this is hard to speak on.
Yeah, we can just blech.
I'm just gonna pull it up.
My gut. Go ahead.
So you have Hopkins, late third or late second and an early third for McLaurin and an early fourth. Salary cap league. He said he was paying. He had Terry McLaurin locked in for 2 years at $20 million, as opposed to having Hopkins for 1 and 26. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people are giving Hopkins hate, but a lower volume passing offense I get. But we're talking about a guy at age 30 who averaged 17 fantasy points per game last year. He was still D-Hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, dynasty-wise and like cap-wise, this probably goes to McLaurin. But I think it's an upgrade in picks as well that you're trading here. You're getting an extra you're trading up a whole round. You're giving the guy a late second round pick here just to gain an extra year in Terry McLaurin. McLaurin did finish wide receiver 14, but he was at 13.5 points per game last year. We're talking about Hopkins, who was at 17. To be honest with you, give me the 1 year of Hopkins that he had locked in.
I think I'm on the exact opposite side of you. I don't love D-Hop. 26 mil. Listen, I don't know what the salary cap is. I don't know anything. We've been given close to no context on this. 26 mil for the productivity you could get out of D-Hop. I don't know, man. That seems like you might be taking him a good chunk. Terry McLaurin gives you that safe floor, dude. I feel like he's pretty consistent. You know what you get out of Terry. He'll probably be top 15 for the next 2 seasons, and you'll get what you get out of him for $6 million less. I don't love D-Hop on the Titans. I don't. Ryan Tannehill looked washed last year. Even when he was on the field, I know he spent time off. And if Tannehill goes down, God bless America, Malik Willis is awful. So I don't know. I don't love D-Hop in that offense. I'm on the McLaurins. I'm with Pedro here. I'd rather just take McLaurin and move on. I get the pick thing, gets a little dicey in there, but
yeah, I'm not afraid of D-Hop. Like I said, I like D-Hop, especially for the value he's going at.
Okay.
I mean, shoot, I got D-Hop in the 8th round in the Scott Fish Bowl, just for context. Love it. Talking about a guy, like I said, who averaged 17 points per game. D-Hop hasn't slowed down.
That will come down, though, in this offense. I mean, you got Derrick Henry in the backfield. Ryan Tannehill has a noodle arm at this point.
I think it will. I'm not saying it won't, but I mean, we've seen A.J. Brown replicate wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 numbers in this offense consistently. True. And A.J. Brown missed a lot of time in Tennessee as opposed to missing no time last year in Philly.
Right.
I think if you're talking about – obviously you're talking about 30 to 31-year-old D-Hop here as opposed to a 23, 24-year-old A.J. Brown. I get the difference, but D-Hop's shown us no significant decline yet.
Yeah.
These old receivers, I get it, but I still like D-Hop. And that's going to be the one. All right, my buddy Kurt wants to break this down. I actually think Kurt overpaid here, to be honest, but
whoo, boy.
I'm going to be honest here.
Hold on. Quick pause in the podcast. I apologize for all the listeners. Kurt is hothead Hambone?
No. This is a whole nother trade.
Dang it. Oh, so he's saying Curse on this side. So he's getting Addison. Yeah, okay.
He's getting Addison.
Okay. So
you have a 2024 first, 24 second. He believes in Jordan Addison, as do I.
Same.
Lockett's dynasty value is significantly lower when it comes to this equation, but still a nice little piece to have for the 2023-2024 season.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I would have paid the 24 first and Lockett. I think the second is excess.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's an overpay, but go get your guy type thing. I don't think people are realizing what kind of situation Jordan Addison is about to walk into.
Right. Absolutely. I agree. I agree. I think he'll be as much as I love JSN, I think Addison's got the most primed position to get straight into that offense and be able to produce day one.
Yep.
But that being said, Lockett might be around the same rankings that Addison ends up this year. Yeah, and I get the age difference. I do. The age difference is drastic. We're talking maybe a whole decade. But, I mean, worst comes to worst, they finish the same this year, and then Lockett falls off, and then what? You have a first and a second to make up for trading away.
Yeah, it just depends on where these picks fall. If that pick, like I said, he gave me some context. He said this pick is supposed to be a back end pick. He said it's a pick sent from the former champion last year. So this is a projected late 24 first. So that's why I think it makes sense here. Actually, I didn't hate it.
Okay. Well, if it's like almost guaranteed, like is this 10-man league? Do you know?
12.
12? Yeah. Okay. So if you can guarantee that's a late 2024 first, give me the Addison side. Honestly, because then you're looking at like what at best case scenario for him, a back end first and an early second.
Yeah. All right, let me find these trades here. All right, so these are two trades. So this is a 1 QB league.
1 QB, got it.
So you have Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes in a 4th round pick he sends Kenny in a 3rd. Give me the Danny Dimes side.
Boy, I love this trade. Give me the Danny Dimes by a mile. I was hoping I was going to get to argue Daniel Jones versus Kenny Pickett with you, but I guess not.
Nah, give me Danny Dimes.
Yeah, give me Danny Dimes. Do you want any context on that?
I think the Giants haven't gotten significantly better, but they have gotten better. I think some things have come to fruition. You keep Saquon for another year. You add Darren Waller. You add speed to your offense. I wasn't as high on Jaylen Hyatt, but I do like the over the top threat that you now have, and you have 17 slot receivers on your roster. So we're gonna have slot roster. We're gonna have slot receiver galore in New York. I like Brian Daboll. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. I love what Brian Daboll has done with Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes has an elite rushing upside that nobody talks about. Do I think his total TD numbers are going to increase? I do.
Yeah.
I sure do.
Fuck yeah, they will. Fuck yeah. Get me fucking hyped up, Danny Dimes, baby. I'm number one Brian Daboll fan. I said it on maybe every fucking podcast last year. Number one fucking Brian Daboll fan. I'm so glad that what he's done with Daniel Jones, I think he's only going to get better. He gives him that legit one, and Waller, God forbid, if he stays healthy, I think him and Waller will connect, and then he'll just pick and choose whoever's open. He has 100 receivers that are all mid but they can catch the ball. They can make it happen.
Dude, you see Sterling Shepard the other day at training camp still producing elite separation?
Kind of cooking out there. Yeah, I saw that. He's kind of cooking still for a 30-year-old man. He said another one. Do you want to go over that one or not really?
Yeah, let's do this too. For me, to be honest with you, these are 1 QBs. This is Hawkinson's side regardless.
Oh, this is 1 QB?
Yeah. I'm paying a 1.9 for TJ Hawkinson anywhere.
Straight up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. I could live with that. Especially in 1 QB.
Get the 2nd round pick and you have to trade back. You trade back a later pick. Yeah, no question. Yep, give me Hawk. That's an easy one for me.
Give me Hawk. All right. Well, let's see why I didn't really want to do that one. Kind of seems like a Hawk and move on.
See, now this one's interesting.
We get a roster. All right, cool. I like context.
Yep, so we have context here. See, the trade is he receives Najee, sends Gesicki and Deontay Johnson.
You just click the arrow. Oh, okay. That works too.
So this is what the roster looks like.
Oof.
Tight end's rough, for sure.
Tight end, that's still going to say. It's like one thing I could say is you really took a hit trading a tight end because now you're rolling the dice every week at the tight end position.
I'm okay with it though.
That being said, though, that team is stacked positionally. And I think it's important when you have Kamara and Barkley as your 1-2. It is nice to have a younger guy in there, even though Najee's sneaky old. But it's still nice to have someone that can kind of follow up one of those guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
I personally love the trade for you on the Najee side as well. Although I do think Deontay has
it was Gesicki. Oh. Never mind.
All right.
Here's my trade. I put this guy's name on blast. He's very proud of everything he's done with this team, so I'm sure he won't mind me sharing this trade.
And I remember this. This is when you were trying to sell and get younger.
I was selling the farm. So I have nothing to say on this. I'm semi-happy with it, but pick me apart, baby.
CD. Pickens, Burks, 24 second, 23 third. Oh, man, that's tough. CD is a dog. I'm going to be honest with you.
I agree.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think for the young depth, granted, we're talking about depth. This is all depth trade. What did the 2024 second? Okay, and then the 2023 third. Who'd you get at the 3rd round, if I may ask, at 3-6?
Oh, gosh. Keep talking. I'll look it up. Hold on.
Because there's been some sleeper tight ends in this class that I like, too. So I'm hoping you got one of them.
What is this in? Hold on. I got shit.
Maybe Tank Dell.
I don't own any Tank Dell. Oh, not a great name. I see what I was trying to do. Yeah, I just missed out on Laporta, who was sliding in that draft. But I ended up with so this second is basically nothing because I ended up getting Zach Evans. So it's kind of a wash.
Okay. So I'm going to take the CD side. But I understand. I remember your context in your league, what you were doing. You needed depth there. So I don't mind it. I think Pickens is gonna, obviously I think Pickens is gonna break out. I have Pickens pegged as a breakout. I think the Hopkins signing will delay Burks a little bit.
Right.
I do think he can finish as a top 30 wide receiver though, just due to the fact that I've seen AJ Brown and Corey Davis do it in a season as well. I think Burks is a monster. So I like Burks long term. I love Pickens in 23 and beyond. It's just hard to trade CD, man. That's just what it comes
tough, to. But for context for the people, it's just like I'd taken over this orphan and I kind of wanted to make it mine. And the only the only players of note that was really on this roster was CD and Jerry Jeudy and few other names. So I didn't really have a lot to work with. So I was just trying to get depth. The team was very raw. I don't love trading CD, but I needed to do something.
All right, man. Let me do one thing. I'm going to show you my trade. You can pull it up. There it is, baby. For context, this is Seth's league. I wanted to build a strong wide receiver core on top of I made a lot of trades here and here out in this draft. It was a lot of fun. I got Trevor Lawrence, who I really, really wanted. I got him. I locked in. Me and you locked in. I think my receiving core is deeper. I think your top three obviously stand out significantly, but amongst the tight end and the 5 wide receivers that are rostered here, I think it makes a lot of sense. Garrett Wilson being one of my guys to break out huge this year. So here's the trade. Roast it if you want. 2 firsts and Jahan Dotson for Garrett Wilson, and I'll let you take the floor.
So I got kind of preface. I'm not trading first anymore. I know you're first of all, I'm taking a shot at you too. Fuck you. I have a great receiving core. I just didn't trade all my fucking picks away, jackass.
The thing was like I made some trades in that draft. Like I traded back, gained picks, and then I traded up, lost picks. Like I made a lot of moves.
Yeah.
Like lateral moves too. So I was this wide receiver core is one of my favorite wide receiver cores I have built.
So what you're doing with this team, I don't hate this trade given the context, but if this was like any other league, I think that I'd be sitting here telling you that you overpaid. I mean, 2 firsts for Wilson, fine. Like I could see that happening in some leagues, but I think Dotson might be a legit like high end 2 at some point in his career. And then on top of that,
you see that touchdown catch?
No, I didn't actually.
Dude, yeah, I'm going to say, Sam Howell was looking Jahan Dotson's way early. Often I do like it. I'm a big Jahan Dotson fan. But
I like Jahan. 2 firsts and Jahan might be a little bit of overpay. But, I mean, for what you're doing with this team, I don't hate it, considering what? DK, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, Waddle. I mean, that's fucking crazy. So I get the need to go get and solidify that.
Yeah, so just for context too, like here's the Waddle deal. I paid significantly less for Waddle than I did for Garrett. So you can go ahead and pick that apart as well if you want. This is the same. This is literally.
I'm good with that one. Even though I'm not a Waddle guy. Yeah, I'll take Waddle on that one. I'm good with that. I don't know who the fuck team 1 is, but it's somebody.
Fair enough. That's fair. So, I mean, like I said, like it's been a lot of fun talking these trades. I mean, I have a lot of fun talking trades, man. I really do.
I need to make more trades is my thing, but I'm always skeptical to do it until after the preseason. But then until like the middle of preseason, I should say. And they only have like 2 weeks for me to make moves, and then I'm like blitzing trades. I did it last year, and it's a lot of fun. But like,
dude.
It's stressful 2 weeks for me.
I can't even tell you how many trades I made in your league this offseason. I am in a complete sellout rebuild, and I'm so excited. Can't wait. I can't wait. I think I have 7 first-round picks in your draft this year, and I have 2 second-round picks, and I have 2 2025 firsts. I can't wait.
We got a lot of shit going on over there, bud.
A lot of shit better than the dough, bro. But on that note, say what's up. You know what I mean? It's that time to get out of here, man.
Yep. So, once again, thank you, everybody, for joining in and listening to the podcast. Thank you for those who sent in our trades. Please don't crucify us if we said you lost. We still love you. Plus, who knows? We're getting seasoned. Maybe we'll be dead wrong, and y'all can come back and call us dumbasses.
Absolutely. That's the best part about it.
Yeah. But
we're not afraid to take our L's on the chin here.
No, not at all.
On that note, obviously, we do it every podcast. Thank you, RPO. Thank you, Yards Per Fantasy. Every time we get to go live, we get to talk football. It's a blessing. For you guys that got back from the Fantasy Expo, I am jealous. Ryan and I would love to be there in 2024.
We'll be there next year, baby.
So, on that note, guys, we are out.